I get a call from a friend of mine who needs some money to make a big purchase in their life. And I tell them, "Sure, I can lend you some money." It was a few grand and, you know, says I can pay you back by this date. That date comes, don't get the money. It's like, "Okay, no worries." Like, "What's going on?" Get a phone call a little later. "Hey man, it turns out I'm a little short." "How short?" And this was a few more grand, which is about quadrupled the size of the first amount. So ultimately, I ended up lending a friend $15,500 for a big purchase in their life. And this is also the same time where I'm thinking, and I'm expressing to them, I need this money back because I have to move it to my business bank account. I had just opened Lion Fit LLC, the whole thing. I had plans, and we're gonna do it this way. Here's how it's gonna look. Again, my plans, right? It's like, okay, I know how this is gonna work. Except God works differently. He has other plans. And so, okay. And hit him back up. We're going back and forth. "Oh, hey man, yeah, I'm gonna get that back." And next thing you know, he goes totally ghost on me, and nothing, radio silence. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, I had this plan. I'm gonna quit my job, start my business. I'm sort of down 15 and a half grand from where I thought I would be though. Everybody wants that runway, right? We do. We want that runway. We want to know we're safe for 6 to 12 months. When you name it, whatever your plan is, okay, you name it. We want that safety net. And so I'm just thinking about this, and I'm like, I can either continue working at this same corporate job that I literally can't hardly get out of bed to do anymore.
Mm.
I mean, my nerves started to break down, dude. Like, I was going for runs. I say I was running away from work.
Mm.
When I got up to run in the day, it was like at noon, 1 o'clock. I was going for 6, 7 mile runs. I was cooking, but I wasn't doing anything in the lead up, right? I wasn't doing my mobility, all the stuff, the stretching, the cool downs, running, bro. It's pretty taxing on the body. So it's like, if you're not doing all the stuff, then that's not going to look good in the long term.
Yep.
So that started not to work anymore. I was knocked out of running. I couldn't do it. I thought I had a stress fracture. I thought I had all these things. I didn't even know what was happening. And so, okay, cool. Take running away from me. What do I do? I would always go physical when I was like, oh, okay, I can push through this. But when your physical breaks down, what do? Like, okay, suppose I'll go inward. Maybe I'll start meditating more, right? But God had other plans, and I just was like, I'm not gonna work another however many months it takes to regain that money with all the expenses month to month and whatever else I'm paying for. It's gonna take a long time, just to get to the same place. Fortunately, I was put on a performance plan at work, which was such a blessing. And the performance plan, I didn't know this, but it actually detailed in there, come to find out when I talked to HR, that you have to move back to Chicago in the next 60 days. And I'm like, I get on with HR. I'm like, I'm not moving back to Chicago. And they're like, okay, then you got to make a decision. Pivotal point. Okay. So I'm thinking about this and I'm like, maybe God removed that money from my bank account to help me to realize that no amount of money was ever going to give me the confidence and the faith to press on and move forward.
Mm.
Maybe, just maybe. Maybe it's purely in the decision, in the action, in the going for it, in the total trust. That's when you move forward. I end up in August last year going on a camping trip in Minnesota, the Boundary Waters, with a few very good friends of mine. And I have 5 or 6 days. We're in tents. We're carrying canoes over our heads. We're portaging. We're doing the whole thing, right? We're in the wilderness. We don't have Wi-Fi. We don't have any of that stuff. So we were able to get kind of tapped in. I come back and I go to, Ross.
I do.
We go to Ross's house.
Ross, man.
I met Ross on that trip and we portaged together. We had the same canoe and we've become amazing buds since that point.
Love it.
And Ross on that trip, I have to plug this real quick because he's like, in classic Ross fashion, he's like, Connor, I remember, dude, when I had like $2 in my bank account. He's like, you're gonna be fine.
I just pictured him saying that. I started laughing.
It was classic, and I'll never forget when he said that to me because it was like, oh, he just figured it out.
Yeah,
and that's how Ross is. He's funny. So he organizes a dinner. I hadn't met his wife, and I get to meet everybody. And when we come back, and we have dinner at his place, and this is August 23rd. I remember these dates. This is August 23rd last year, and I'm like, on the plane ride home from Minnesota, I had journaled like 8 pages saying like, you got this, faith, trust, it's gonna work out. And then I remember coming back, and on Monday, I opened my emails, and then I was in the same paradigm, just like working again. And we ended up getting together that, like, I don't know if it was like a Wednesday or whatever it was that week. I really needed it because I got right back to the same routine, and I was gonna just keep working, and who knows? But I ended up talking to those guys, and they could tell I was sort of in a funky state. So they're talking to me. I'm talking to Ross. I'm talking to my friend Chris Bates. And Bates, I don't know what in the lead up led him to asking this question, but he's like, Connor, if you removed all the filters in your life, what society says, what your friends say, what some coach said, or if it's a parent or whatever it is, he's just phrasing it. What does Connor think? What does Connor, like, what do you actually in your heart know is right for you? And we're talking about like Lion Fit. And in that moment, I don't know what the lead up was, or a lot of stuff had happened. Tears started coming down my eyes, and I said, I'm done. I'm done. I woke up the next day, 5:30 a.m., ran 4 miles. I hadn't run 4 miles in months, probably like under 7 minutes each mile. I was cooking. It's 5:30 a.m. There's hardly anybody on the trail. It's pitch black. I mean, I knew that day I was going to call my manager, call my regional partner, call my mom, call my friends, call everybody, and tell them I'm done. I'm quitting my job. I'm going all in on Lion Fit. August 24th, 2023 is the day that everything changed.
August
24th.
24th. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot, though, that it took to get to that point. And I do have to share as part of that story. I received, this is how God works. This is how it all comes back together. My mom calls me a little later, not that day, but, maybe it may have been a few weeks. She's like, everybody's, you're splitting up the inheritances from the estate for the grandparents. And she's like, my mom's, gifting. And she's like, we're going to give this to the kids. Guess how much you're getting? And I was like, $15,000. Oh, okay. Almost the exact amount of money. She said 15 and a half. It is like almost the exact amount of money that was taken from my bank account. I don't know about you, bro, but that sounds to me like God had to remove something for me to see something, for me to believe something, for me to move forward. I got you. Trust me.